Hi, I'm Nathan. I'm 25 and I'm an engineer.
I'm Karis. I am 27 and I work for a large nonprofit in the area. And we do conferences and have resources for marriages and families.
Yeah, so we met about 2 years ago and knew each other for maybe a year before we really started dating. And as I like to think of it, we were the two single people in our friend group. So every time I saw any of them, the only question they asked was, when are you going to ask Karis out? When are you guys getting together? And I blew it off because I was living about 5 hours away, but they wore me down, and it was good that they did.
Yeah, well, my roommate was dating one of your best friends, and so they got engaged and got married, and we were both in their wedding. And so it was at their wedding that you asked me out.
Yeah, and we started dating immediately, and still living 5 hours apart, so there were a lot of long nights driving home for me, but it was good.
Yeah, we dated for about a year long distance, and then we moved to Little Rock and got married just about a year ago. So we moved into a one-bedroom apartment when we moved here because we knew long-term that we wanted to buy a house in the area, but weren't quite ready to make that commitment yet.
Yeah, so it's been a long year in our one-bedroom apartment. We've made it work. It's been small though. But we started saving pretty much immediately, and really we had targeted summer of 2017 the whole time for when we were going to buy our first house together. So things have worked out well.
Yeah, when we started looking, I knew that I wanted a colonial style house. And so that was something to me that I had grown up in a house like that on the East Coast and really liked that style. To me, it was really classic and really clean looking and something that I was really comfortable with. So that was something that was a goal of mine.
Yeah, and I grew up outside of Dallas in just the total flattest part of America, it has to be. And every house that I lived in was one story and, in my mind, boring. So I would look at my friends' houses that were two-story, and they had an extra playroom up there or just a space of their own. And I was always really jealous of that. So when we moved to Little Rock, I looked around and there's split-level houses everywhere. And I just really fell in love with how unique all of the houses are. Just every one just has different features about it.
Well,
I just thought it was...
Here's the thing. You think colonials feel boring. I think they're timeless. And split levels, to me, are really quirky, which usually
but I
means
like that.
Weird quirky.
I want there to be some quirks. I don't want to have the same house as my neighbors.
Okay. Yeah. Well, I think to me, I would rather have something that I know what I'm getting and it feels more standard, I guess, or classic.
Sure. Yeah. So there were a couple things that we really wanted in a house. One of the biggest things for me is having natural lighting. I just love a room that you can walk into and it's just lit up and feels comfortable just like it is.
Yeah, I think for me, one thing I really wanted was a large open living area where we could have guests entertained, but also a really spacious kitchen. So for me, that would look like something that maybe was having updated appliances, granite countertops, a lot of space. We really like to cook. I really like to cook specifically, and so having a space where we could have guests nearby while we're cooking was really important to me.
Yeah, I wanted a big yard too.
I wanted a no yard.
Yeah, no yard for her. Yeah, I've always wanted to get into gardening, so this was my time for it. So I wanted a yard where we could do that and still have enough room to have people over and stuff like that.
I wanted low yard maintenance. I did not want to have to think about taking care of all of that and having a lot of things like plants to take care of and a yard to mow. So for me, low yard maintenance was important.
Yeah. And I grew up doing a lot of projects with my family. That was always something that we were doing. Any house that we were in, no matter how nice it was, we were always doing projects to update things or to add features. So that was something that I wanted to have in the house that we buy, is something that we can really make our own and grow into.
Well, I grew up total opposite. So my family was not big on doing renovation projects, and we liked to buy houses that were pretty move-in ready, and that's kind of what I'm used to. So
yeah, so there were some clashes with us going through that process.
The idea of projects is kind of scary to me, so I'd rather just find something that I like and am happy with living in as is.
Yeah. So one of the biggest deal breakers, I want a house that has some character and maybe has a unique yard with developed trees, but I want it to be mostly flat because a lot of the houses here are on these giant hills, and we would drive by these things when we were looking at houses, and I would just imagine myself. It's Saturday morning. It's 95 degrees, and I am pushing a mower straight up a hill, and just ready to die.
Yeah, let's be real. I'm not going to be the one mowing the yard.
Yes, she doesn't care at all. So this is my burden to bear here. So, but I want a nice yard, but I want one that's going to be easy for us to maintain.
You to maintain.
For me to maintain.
Another thing that was pretty big on our list was location. There's an area of town that's kind of up and coming and has a lot of young people. They've been doing a lot of renovations in the area, and we really like this area and the surrounding neighborhoods, and so that was really important to us, to be in a location that was near that part of town. I think as a result of that, another area that that would be a deal breaker would be the number of bathrooms in the house.
Yeah, we really wanted to have at least 2 full baths so that when we have family staying with us from out of town, that they have a place of their own, so they don't have to walk into our bathroom or into our room to go to the bathroom.
Yeah, I'm not
Or
letting
take a
people
shower.
do that.
Yeah.
But a lot of houses in this area are smaller and don't have that, and they're older, so I think that's going to be really important.
Yeah, and really, this was a whole theme as we were looking at buying a house, as there were lots of houses that we would look at and I would fall in love with. It met all of Karis's criteria, except for maybe one thing, and then the house was just shot down.
What do you mean?
Well, one of the houses we looked at had just been, you can tell it had just been flipped, and it was everything that we were looking for. But it was maybe a mile outside of the area that we were looking at.
Yeah, that was really important to me.
Yeah, and
So-
Karis was not having it.
There's a small radius that I was wanting to stay within,
Yeah,
if possible.
so
Another deal breaker for me is a garage. I think having an attached garage was probably high on my list. A lot of houses in this area have carports or have no garage, and for me, having that space and having that protection over our cars and just all of the things that we would store in there would be really important to me.
yeah, so our house, when we drove up to it, let me restart that.
We have to talk about who's the pickiest first.
I was trying to get into that earlier.
Oh, I'm sorry.
It's okay. I think that's why I was calling you out and stuff.
Oh, I'm sorry. I totally missed that.
Oh, I'm sorry. I kind of moved past it. I think we're good with that, though.
Okay.
You want to just transition into the end, or what? I don't know. What do you want?
That's fine.
Do you want to go back to it?
No, that's good.
Okay.
That's good.
I thought we kind of.
Okay.
Let's look happy. When we drove up to our house, the first thing that we saw was that dreaded yard that was just a ski slope straight up the hill, and I almost didn't even want to go inside. I just wanted to turn around
It was
at
like
the thought of mowing that thing.
the steepest driveway I've ever seen.
I don't even know how we're going to get into the garage. We're going to have to get some speed and then just hope it makes it up the hill.
I think that was a big turnoff, but we were willing to go in and at least take a look. But
Yeah, it met a lot of our other criteria. It was 2,200 square feet and right in the middle of our price range, and it was a colonial, which Karis really loved.
the location was pretty good.
Yeah,
Yeah, I think one thing that when you first walk in, you can tell is that it has a large open living space, which we loved. And then the kitchen area was really spacious, and it had gotten updated appliances, and it had some locally sourced wood countertops, which was a quirk, but a quirk that I kind of like, so that was good.
yeah. My favorite part was there's an add-on to that house where they added a dining room adjacent to the kitchen, and I don't know who made this thing, but I need to meet them. They added 2 sets of French doors in there and a set of skylights, and added another full bath and a workshop kind of area back there. So at that point, we had only looked at maybe 3 rooms in the house, and I was sold.
Well, and I really did not like add-ons, so any house we looked at that had an add-on, I was like...
But here's the thing, you didn't even know it was an add-on.
That's when I knew it was good, because I couldn't tell it was an add-on. You had to tell me that.
Yeah.
So that was really a big plus for us. But I think what really sold you on the house was the backyard.
Yeah, this was maybe more yard than I was looking for.
It's crazy. We call it the secret garden yard.
Yeah, the ad online shows maybe a row of trees and a little retaining wall. So I thought that looks kind of cool. But once we walked up on top of the retaining wall, we realized that it goes back for another 80 feet. Just trees and ground cover and
A greenhouse.
yeah.
It also has a koi pond, a hot tub. It has a huge porch, which we
Yeah.
really love.
Yeah, in which we could really, as soon as we walked out there, we could just really imagine ourselves out there having friends over and grilling out. And it was just a really fun area for us.
Yeah. The fireplace in the living room was beautiful. There was a fireplace in the master bedroom, which was
Yeah.
a fun quirk.
We won't even have to get out of bed on Saturday mornings.
Also, the barbecue grill has a gas line that's permanently built in,
Yeah,
which
straight
is
into
cool. Yeah, there's a lot of quirks, but they're quirks that I can live with.
Yeah, so it was not the house that we originally thought we were going to want. But once we got in there, we really just fell in love with it.
Yeah.
And I think it's a place we can just really see ourselves being in the long term and growing together. And
Yeah, and there's still some room for some projects.
Yeah,
So that'll be nice for you. But overall, we really love the house.
yeah.